with Bruce Boudreau. Bruce, Brad Marchand back in Boston tonight for the first time since he got dealt to Florida and hoisted the Stanley Cup as a member of the Panthers. You coached against guys making their return. What can we expect from tonight's game?
Well, I tell you, Gino, I think it's going to be exciting as heck. From what I've talked to my friend in Boston, he said it's the toughest ticket in town to get, and it's going to be electric. At the 14-minute mark of the first period, when they show that video, I'm thinking he's going to get at least a 5-minute standing ovation or something along those lines. He has been that important to the Bruins for the last 15 years, and especially the last 10 years and such, when he became a really, really good player. But I'll tell you what, after that, anything goes. The first time he took a cheap shot on somebody, they're going to be booing the heck out of him. But it's going to be really exciting at the beginning.
Bruce, he was the Bruins captain, but they didn't seem all that anxious to keep him. Now he's got a long-term deal with the Florida Panthers, and he's got a brand new shiny Stanley Cup ring. Did the Bruins make a mistake by moving him out of the city?
Well, I think so. They just didn't want to give him the length of the contract that Brad wanted. And when they said they couldn't do that length, then all of a sudden Brad was looking to greener pastures, and Florida said, hey, we're going for the cup. Let's see how he does over here. Boom, he's great. He was perfect as a third-line guy in Florida. And I think they made a mistake because, I mean, obviously he did great. But, I mean, they lost an important piece to that puzzle. Pasternak wishes he was back there every single day. I'm betting.
Bruce, Brad Marchand was one of the first 6 players named to Team Canada for the Four Nations Cup. But he was not one of the first 6 players named to Canada's Olympic team for this February. Is he still a lock to ultimately make this Team Canada roster?
I absolutely think he is, whether he plays fourth line, third line, or if he even sits out a game. I think his leadership and the fact that he's been there is going to be so important to that team. So, I mean, you can't get enough guys that have been there and done that like Brad Marchand has, and I think he'll be so important to that team, whether he's playing 20 minutes or 12 minutes. So I think he's a lock. I'd have him on my team every day.
I want to follow up on the ice time, Bruce. There were 9 forwards on Team Canada that were averaging more ice time per game than Brad Marchand. Is it really something that Team Canada can afford to carry a Marchand who's barely playing over 11 minutes a game at that position? Is he still worth it bringing him for that little ice time per game?
Like I said, I think sometimes you've got to bring guys that are going to be leaders, whether they're on the ice or off the ice. I mean, there's going to be 26 players, I think, on each Olympic team. And I think you can not only afford to have him, but you need him in that room telling the guys how hard it is to win, how to go about winning, how to be so professional. And I think if he's not playing and he's still there in a leadership position, I think it's going to be great for Team Canada. And you know what? If you have to play him, you have to play him. It's not going to be a big deal. Brad Marchand seems to rise to the occasion every time it's needed to be risen to. And I think he's the kind of guy in the Olympics that he would do whatever it took to win.
I mentioned the 6 guys have already been named to Team Canada's Olympic team. That includes McDavid, McKinnon, Makar, Crosby, Point, and Marchand's teammate on the Stanley Cup winning team, Sam Reinhart.